All ready to go. Okay, it's 5 o'clock and we'll open the meeting. Recording in accordance with the Local Government Meeting Procedure Regulation 2025, the public is advised that the proceedings of the meeting of council will be recorded on digital media to assist in the preparation of the minutes and to ensure that a true and accurate account of debate and discussions of the meeting is available. All persons attending the council meeting as part of the gallery are to behave in a respectful and considerate manner and not engage in conduct or language that could be perceived as offensive, defamatory or threatening to others. Individuals that do not adhere to this direction may be asked to leave the chambers. Councillors are also reminded that their behaviour is governed by the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulation 2025, Regulation 49, suspension from meeting. West Coast Council acknowledges the traditional custodians on the land on which we gather today and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item 147 is record of attendance, apologies and leave of absence. We've got a leave of absence from Councillor Stringer. Item 148 is declaration of interest. Councillors and staff may declare a peculiar or conflict of interest in any of the agenda items here or before that item is commenced debate. I've just got the recording. Item 149 is confirmation of minutes. Recommendation is that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of West Coast Council held at the West Coast Council Chambers on the 28th of April 2026, a copy of which having been previously circulated to councillors prior to the meeting, be confirmed as a true and accurate record. Someone like to move that way, please. With Councillor Hamer.
Yeah, before we move that, I will move it, but could I please add the April council meeting into my diary before we move on? Thank you.
Okay, no problems.
So moved.
That moves Councillor Hamer, seconded please. Seconded Councillor Graham. Put that one to a vote. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Public participation and question time. We have no one in the gallery tonight. Is there any written notices from...
Through you, Mr Mayor, none.
None? Okay. Public questions.
Through you, Mayor. I've received a response from Joanne Kerr to the previous response from the General Manager. So I'd like to forward that to the General Manager and request that you respond to Jo after receiving that, please, regarding the last question and the question before that was tabled in the last two meetings.
Could we add that to a correspondence then, please? It probably should be sent through as a correspondence.
She wanted to do a question without notice but was unable to attend the meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Moving on then. So, public questions without notice. Did she want to add, do you want to ask that question on behalf of Mr. Joanne, Councillor? And it's part of the...
I will forward, as it's a response to the response,
Okay,
I will forward it to the GM.
right.
That's not a question.
That's not a question.
It's a question on the response.
Is it a question or not?
If there's a question, you can ask the question now.
No.
No. Okay. Right. Okay. There's no petitions on notice. There's no councillor questions on notice. Is there any councillor questions without notice, councillors? Yes, Councillor Hamer.
My question without notice is, I've got a couple. Can we start to monitor the condition of the Strawn Wharf? The cracks have increased by 2 millimetres and the carriage is an 8-tonne tear. Removal of the carriage should decrease load on concrete. When will the carriage be scheduled for removal? Can I leave that with you, GM?
Through you, Mr Mayor, certainly happy to take that one on notice. We've the last conversation I had with West Coast Wilderness Railway is that they are scheduling it, but they haven't given me a date.
The next question without notice. As we've already partnered with Sustainable Timbers and Parks and Wildlife, could we investigate a wood gathering area for locals in each town? As the cost of living has made every cent count for families, is this something that we as a group should investigate or could investigate? Through you, Chair, to the GM.
GM?
Thank you for the question. Certainly one thing we can seek some approval for. There is a permitting process that Sustainable Timbers runs for access to certain parts of the forest, and I'll have to take that on notice and follow that up.
Thank you. My third question, and this is more of an idea more than a question, I guess, but the question without notice, is there at any stage a conversation that we could have with the Crows Football Club to take over the RV component of the Oval financially in and outgoing, to perhaps earn the money for the upkeep of the Oval regarding interest shown from Ruth Forest on being able to keep the grounds, to keep the iconic club independent? Please advise for your consideration, councillors. Through you, Chair, to the GM.
Through you, Mr Mayor, certainly happy to take that on notice and prepare a briefing paper for council on that one.
Thank you.
We'll elaborate a little bit there that the Crows were asked in the first instance around the RV camping. Around the Wreck, and they weren't interested. That's why the Lions Club took it on. The Lions Club did not want to do it in the first instance. Council went to them when the economic regulator forced our hand. But we were originally looked after the RV camping, and they told us that we couldn't because we were in breach of the economic regulations. So then we reached out to the Crows. They weren't interested. The Lions Club then said that they'd take it on and support the Crows, which they do, with some of the money that comes from the RV camping. We also asked the Crows if they would be interested in opening up the club rooms on a Friday and Saturday evening during the summer to provide meals for those RV campers, and they weren't interested then either. Unless there is some change around the Crows Club and they are interested, and when it's back out for expression of interest, they're quite welcome to put an expression of interest in to run the RV camping at the football ground.
Thank you for that, Mayor. And my last question without notice. Could I ask, through you, Chair, to the GM,
Question without notice, sorry, was it question without notice? Sorry, yes.
Could I ask how the grant money that Senator Anne Urquhart gave the Council for Disadvantaged Community was delivered? Please advise for noting. Apparently there was a grant, through you, Chair, to the GM quite some time ago that was given by Anne Urquhart, and I just need to know how it was distributed and is there any money left over?
Through you, Mr Mayor, certainly happy to take that one on notice. I know the team has been working on the Trawalla connections recently, if that's the funding that I'm thinking about. So certainly happy to bring back some advice.
Lovely, thank you.
It's news to us, GM, if there is any funding, because that Anne Urquhart have put forward, because I've never heard of
I've
it.
been around this table nearly 8 years and I haven't heard of the funding either.
I'll certainly update council.
Interesting, yes, thank you. Thanks, councillor. Any other questions without notice, councillors? Yes, councillor McKay.
Thank you, Mayor. Has there been any update from State Growth regarding the adjusted signage request at the corner of Harvey and Reed Street, Strawn, where it was amended? It is creating quite a large traffic hazard, and the unintended consequences are many long RV vehicles are using that, intersection and heading down
down.
the Union Hill.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Through you, Mr Mayor, certainly happy to follow that up. Yep.
It's desperately needed to be chased up.
Thank you, councillor.
Yeah, the moving of that sign didn't help, did it? The sign that used to be on the other side of the road, when you actually can see it from the intersection, which is now right in the corner of my place, you can't even see it until you get to the intersection. And then, of course, you turn and you don't see that if you're over 6 metres, you can't go down the hill until you're too far. You've got no choice, you can't back up. So whoever gave permission to move that sign needs to have a good hard look at themselves. Secondly, I did ask whether there was a process that was engaged in 2 meetings ago, and not sure that I've been fully briefed on whether that was the case or not. So I wish to reinstate that question as well.
Yep.
Was there a process engaged in to move that sign? And what process was it that there is? Because it just, one night it's there, the next it's not.
Certainly happy to follow that up.
So we'll get that on the action list.
The cars are actually stopping mid-intersection because the signs are so confusing. So it really is a major
That's right.
hazard.
Through you, Chair, if you're going to write to anyone, could you actually ask them to put the paint back on the intersection? Because you're actually supposed to stop there before you head round the corner.
So the line marking as well.
Someone's cleaned up the keep left side again. Again, seems to be a sport for the locals.
Is it a case where the keep left sign is too far left and they're
No, it's right in the middle of the road. It's right in the middle of the traffic stop.
right?
It's just saying keep left. We do get a lot of international tourists that get to intersections and still get confused, particularly after the long runs.
Yeah.
So they're pretty, you do need them.
Yeah.
But yeah, our locals seem to, it's good.
Through you,
Toy trucks.
GM, there's a lot of trucks
Yeah,
still
yeah,
coming
so-
backwards and forwards and Gradco and all that.
Yeah.
And just, there's just not enough
On that
to
intersection. Yeah.
get around,
Around.
so you've got to go really wide, so yeah, accidents will happen while that's,
Another poor decision not building that bypass.
Yes.
A very, very poor decision.
Very much so. Councillor Councillor. Okay.
We've previously raised how important the Fossey River rest stop is. Do we have any details as to how many toilets are proposed for that site at all?
Through you, Mr Mayor, I can follow up, but they were reticent to actually provide any designs at all. And they had not even provided to Waratah Wynyard Council, it's in their patch.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's the importance of how this affects the West Coast traveller
Yeah.
coming down that area.
I'm presuming, councillor, that it'll probably be the original design that we've seen, that we were totally against and give them some suggestions. I suggest that's probably why they will not release the plans, because it's probably not what we asked for.
Hence why I would like to ask.
In the, given that we understand the requirement there for them toilets with the West Coast residents that travel that road on numerous occasions. And we did ask for extra toilets, given that there was only 2 toilets
In the
in the original plan. So yes, we'll
Maybe you're not writing to the right level, start with the minister.
I think that's where we need to go to. We've written to the
Try to
secretary on 2 occasions now and have had no success. I think next step is to write to the minister
Certainly do that.
and ask, I guess explain that we're not getting any feedback from his department.
Should that correspondence go in the agenda?
Yes, it will do. Yep. Councillor McKay, another question.
What progress has been made regarding the requested RV strategy for the West Coast, particularly in light of the new Spirit of Tasmania sailings commencing on the 31st of October 2026, and tickets are already being sold for that date. They have confirmed that is their start date.
Through you, Mr Mayor, there's been some preliminary work. I can certainly bring back some further advice.
I think it's imminent now with that date.
Yes, thank you, councillor. And I guess we should also reach out to the GAT to see what they've done they have been working on some strategy as well, so they might assist our staff as well. Thank you, councillor. Okay, no other questions without notice. We'll keep moving then. No motions on notice. Is there any motions without notice, councillors? No motions without notice. Item 152 is Mayor and Councillors' diaries for noting. Any discussions on any of the diaries, councillors?
Through you, Chair, I'd just like to thank Scott Riley and the GM, Scott Riley, and Andrew Paul for providing training. That was just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor.
I just wanted to make a note, I neglected to put my attendance on behalf of council at the Queenstown Anzac Day ceremony. And I did want to point out that I thought Councillor Butterfield, your speech at that was spot on. I really appreciated it. It was a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just if I could add, I went to look at Mayor and Deputy Mayor's dinner. I put the workshops, but I didn't put the dinner.
Any other discussions, councillors? Okay. Item 153 is council workshops. So there's one on the 12th of May, which is the Cradle Coast Authority draft annual plan and budget, and also Zen Family Daycare proposal study hub West Coast. And then today we had the demonstration on the councillor portal, budget discussions, diverse Skyrim presentation, visitor centre, information centre business plan, and stormwater front project, revised design. Keep moving. Item 154 is open correspondence for noting, inwards and outwards. Any discussions on any of that, councillors? I know it's only for noting, but
Yeah, Mayor, it's interesting, the letter from the local government minister about the reforms and parts of the reform that they're going to implement before the election. All this hype and all this, well, it's got to get through the upper house yet, it hasn't got there yet either. Basically just reducing the 50 councillors across the state and the allowances is all they're going to do before the next election, so we've all been made to jump all these hoops for nothing. Really?
Yeah.
To be honest, it's a bit disappointing, to say the very least.
Yes, I echo your sentiments. Councillor Graham, I was really disappointed, and they put in so much time and effort, or at least Legat had, in terms of those familiarisation modules and making sure that people really understand what it means to step up into the role of the councillor. So that was incredibly disappointing, and I thought the minister really drove that home at the conference.
He certainly did.
So I was very disappointed to see that had been let slide.
I actually haven't seen anything that I would consider an achievement from this minister in his ministry. Not one thing. In the whole time that he's been the minister for those particular portfolios, it's the most disappointing effort for a long time in my opinion. But I'm sorry,
No, I have a different point.
me too, but you go first.
And my other observation was in the correspondence out, we didn't have a letter. You might remember that Terry Barclay from Queenstown asked the question without notice, so she was asking us to respond to appropriate federal and state
Yes.
around that
about the
food accreditation
food,
and
yeah.
for having to have licences if you were selling berries, leafy greens and herbs. So that's just kind of a reminder to make sure you get that out.
Yep.
Please.
Through you, Chair, can I just, with these trees outside of Mrs. Linda Collison,
Wilson Street.
Wilson Street, how is that situated for it to get Jeremy's attention? It must be, are we at some stage of resolution or?
Through you, Mr Mayor, these are the trees that are on the western end of your football oval across the street from the properties. So we've had a number of representations in relation to them. I've had representations in relation to dust, but also in relation to trees.
And noise, it seems.
and noise. So it's it's been a football oval for a very, very long period of time. We're working through that, so
I believe it's a heritage listed football oval.
that is correct.
Centre part is, yes. I guess, well, do we want to write back to the Premier and just stating, you know, we have been working through this with this lady for some time and
Through Mr Mayor, we're in the process of responding, so.
Ask the Premier's advice on which trees he thinks we should cut down and which games we should stop so that the lady doesn't get a noise issues. You might have more advice than we do.
and maybe some funding for it. If that is funding is required to cut the trees down,
Yeah.
they provide it. And, it's, you know, we've got a lot of our state politicians that are, you know, buoying on some of the issues that our residents are putting forward with regard to we are working on these things.
And can I say, Mr Mayor, as someone who lives very near the Oval, yeah, of course, there's some noise on game days, the hooter goes off and every now and then, you know, you hear the music into the night, but I just see that as, it's the community's ground. And, you know, I happen to live there.
Yep.
So, yeah, sometimes we have to have that perspective as well.
Yeah, it's the same as, you know, the correspondence we received from the Honourable Ruth Forrest about the recreation ground. Our works were being done on the ground. We were unable to attain the grant funding was required to do the remedial work around to remove the water from the ground, and we certainly will continue to apply for that grant funding when it becomes available again. But you know, it's one of them things that if you haven't got the funding to be able to do it, you can't do it. And the ground was maintained, ready for the ground for the games, and that's all that we had asked for. And you know, really, if we look at the amount of money that our residents pay to have the ground you know, put to us in condition for game day, we can't do that continuously throughout the year. It's only during the season that we can ascertain that fund to maintain the ground. So.
Can I make a statement about the National Fuel Security Plan?
Yes.
Everyone have a good read of that?
Yes.
Anybody get any comfort from that? That's the most document. A lot of these documents come out and tell us nothing, but this doesn't tell us a goddamn thing at all. Does it?
Can I just say, Councillor Graham, there's an ad that's been on TV, you might have seen it, that we're at level 2. And I just read an article in the Australian today that the consultant is getting one person, 250k a quarter to develop this kind of information.
I was watching the Question Time this morning. Her contract goes from March till June. It goes for 3 months and 7 days, and she's paid $211,000 for 3 months and 7 day contract. Unbelievable.
So I would suggest this is a valuable piece of
Absolutely.
paper we're looking at.
This is what we're getting for 211,000. It's absolutely pathetic. And now, most of the big nations selling fuel to countries like Australia, it's now sold in yuan, not US dollars. So take that on board and think about what that means to Australian and US bonds. Seriously dangerous situation we're in worldwide. If anyone understands the money markets of the world, if you want to buy fuel, you have to buy it in yuan, not US dollars.
Through you, Chair, to the GM, just on the fuel thing, I wish they would put something like that on the food situation, because there are some things that are overly priced. We don't seem to have a watchdog here on the West Coast, and perhaps maybe we could coordinate these people with some other people to do 1, 2 and 3 and 4. At what stages the food is not going to be available.
Through Mr Mayor, the circumstances of fuel issues globally are still washing through our economy, and it's only early days.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's not getting the bigger picture at all. Economies can be wiped out through this process. Seriously.
certainly. But Australia has the resources, but we haven't got the refineries.
Used to have,
Yes, exactly.
there's 13 of them.
Okay, any other questions on note for the noting correspondence? Item 155 is council decision status action item list. For noting, following decision action item as listed below. Any discussions on any of that, councillors? Remembering that we have got a workshop on Saturday to work through this action item list and hopefully resolve.
Through you, Chair, to the GM, will we have a report on the Harold Street two-way conversion?
Through Mr Mayor, we'll have the historical documents associated to that, but you won't have an up-to-date report on it.
Just to add to that, at the moment, the Harold Street, I think we discussed earlier on the issues of the vegetation overhanging on the road and the dangers. Where have we got with that?
It's currently sitting in the to-do list, and that's where it is.
Thank you.
Those trees amongst all the trees on the west coast are assessed by an arborist annually, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
So we would have had last year's report.
that's right.
Yeah, right.
We've had some work done in relation to the vegetation, but there's still more work to be done in terms of strategic change.
Just stepping back, prior to you, GM, the GM prior and our works manager at the time, they were told they were in the process of acquiring that geotechnical report.
For Harold
Did
Street.
that happen?
I'd have to take that on notice, through Mr
So
Mayor.
we're informed that they were in the process of acquiring it.
Yep.
If I remember right.
Through you, Chair, to Councillor Graham, I think they were looking for funding.
No, they were doing the
The report.
report,
Yeah.
They
geotechnical.
told us that it was my understanding of the conversation was the report should be imminent.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I might have missed.
I've got the wife now, I can't think of his name, mountain bike guy, what was his name?
Aaron Stewart.
Aaron Stewart. He said here in this chamber that we should have it, we're acquiring it, we should have it shortly.
So I'm thinking that
They've
Given
been
that-
on site.
given the action now is that seek costing to procure engineering, design and traffic management, they must have had the geotech.
So I imagine there's a report, the
Yeah.
point is, floating somewhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, well, it says there, the report has been received. It's there somewhere.
Okay.
Certainly have to follow that.
Okay. Any other discussions, councillors?
Just there's two actions that we haven't got forward, you're right, that could probably be merged away.
Yes.
Yep.
One could be, because that's, the first one's already been undertaken, so, yep.
Sorry, through you,
Yes.
Chair, to the GM, how did we get on with the footpath outside Rosebery Memorial Hall? I walked on it the other day and, yeah, where was the issue? Or has it been fixed?
Through Mr Mayor, allow Mark to respond to that.
Yep, we've made an assessment of the work that's been required, and currently the guys are scoping what's required to deliver the outcome for the footpath and the costing. And once we have that, that will be provided to the GM for consideration and approval.
Thank you.
Okay. No other questions, councillors? We'll keep moving then. Organisational reports for noting, council noted the following reports. So we've got the growth and change report, which is item 156. Any questions on that, councillors?
I have
Yes,
a
Kat?
question.
Yes, Kat.
I wanted to know more about, on page 46, the training program for woodwork, cooking and art with Mountain Heights School. And my question is coming from, I thought we were above all with the schools trying to get buy-in for the youth advisory initiative, so I just wondered where this came from and what it
Through Mr
entailed.
Mayor, that was part of a conversation around trying to get buy-in, and we've had limited success in engaging with Mountain Heights. There was another conversation with Rosebery, and that has proved to be of much benefit. So there's in terms of trying to move those things on to get a conversation started with our youth. Catherine and others have been doing a fair bit of work in that space. Yep. So I had a conversation probably a week or so ago in relation to a strategy around transport and how we'd make it work. I'm looking forward to some further advice in that space.
Okay, item 157 is organisational performance for noting. The recommendation is council note the following report highlighting information in relation to the organisational performance department. Any questions or on that? Yes, councillor.
I do. Actually, it's regarding page 53, the smart lock. In particular, the Rosebery and Queenstown gym numbers. I don't think they're accurately reflecting the level of usage of these facilities, with possibly a higher percentage of gym users using the old, card system. And I'm wondering, one, can that info be reported with both systems? But if we as a council are trying to manage these facilities appropriately, we've got to have the right numbers. So, funding upkeep, especially in the multi-purpose facilities where you might have, I don't know, somebody's fixing the kitchen, for example. So you've got what might look like 50 people, but actually it's one works crew. So I'm wondering, what processes, we have in place. I don't know, you get like at my work, you get a maintenance fob, and I know you're the maintenance person, coming and going. So we're accurately capturing, these are the users, because I also noticed that we don't have I couldn't find any information on our annual or monthly gym memberships, because now that we've got 5 gyms, we have to look really closely at how we allocate the upkeep and maintenance. And I'd love to feel confident saying, you know what, we had 800 memberships last year, we've got 1,200 this year. These are the gyms that are really hitting the mark. These are the ones that have lower attendance. So I'm, wondering if we can look at the way we're reporting and making sure the smart lock is doing the smart work for us.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, certainly happy to work with Bill and interrogate some data there.
Thank you.
Okay. I think the smart lock are doing the work, it's just that we're not capturing the cards as well. I think that's what.
I really appreciate the breakdown of the straw shower and the toilets. That's really helpful, isn't it, when you're, again, looking at allocating funding, maintenance, cleaning.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, what we used to do is the data that we collected was the number of times the door was opened. So now though, because some might use cards, some might use the app, it gets a bit messy. So what we could do is the total number of doors, less those that use the app, equals the others that are still on card system. So there's a way to interrogate the data to get those answers. So, yeah.
Thank you. Item 158 is
Hang on,
complaints. Sorry.
just if I can, I just wanted to ask, in the commercial leases, it says the Auckland Energy right into their fuel facility on the wharf. According to this, the lease expired at the end of April.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd take that on notice. My understanding is there was an extension granted.
It just says here in this one that it expires 30th of April. And is there plans, or is there anything about World Heritage Cruises got a lease that there's not one for ordinary cruises?
Okay, any other questions on item 157? Item 158 is planning and compliance. Recommendation is the council note the following report highlighting statistic relation to planning and compliance activities. Any discussions on that, councillors?
No DAs this month.
Sorry, councillor?
No DAs.
No.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there's been a number of inquiries. So, yeah, you will see probably a reasonable surge next month.
Okay. No other questions, councillors? Item 159 is Visitor Information Centre report. Recommendation is council note the following report highlighting information in relation to the Visitor Information Centre. Any discussions on that, councillors? Given that we did have a report back in our workshop this afternoon. No?
So the retail sales in the city, that number is the items, the number of items sold. It's a difficult figure to make sense to me. What are you reporting? What are they trying to tell us here? They sold 1,000 keyrings in March. Is that what that figure's trying to tell me?
Through you, Mr Mayor, that I understand that is the detail that's in there.
Right. So that is that number, that's the number
Yeah.
of the items that they sell.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it's not really useful to us. I don't know why the councillors think that the number of items is not important to me. What's important to me is the value of the sale. I don't have any interest in the number of items. I wonder, is it possible going forward to have retail sales reported as a retail figure, please?
From the previous conversation and to what Councillor Graham said, it would be handy to have a gross and a net,
Yeah.
so we could actually understand, because
Bit like a P&L if we can understand it. But we're going to make a decision about it very soon. I'd like to, you know. And again, the bookings in centre, you know, that number is not much use without a commercial figure against it, you know.
Yep.
It's not run like a business unit, is it? Yeah, that's the problem. It's not run as a business unit, which it should have always been.
But in that, councillor Graham, do you want the sale cost or the commission cost?
No, I want it as if I'm reading a profit and loss sheet. I want to know how much it cost them and how much they made. I mean, it's pure business. If you're going to report something, report it like you're a business.
Sorry,
So that I can understand it as a business person, you know what I mean? Is that useful to you, that number?
No, but I'm up, because you've got two figures, you've got your overall, what you'll take, but then.
Well, all they can give us is they're giving us a retail sales number. So if we can see a retail sales number, then we can go back to the report that Bill gives us
Yeah.
about how much that costed, and I can establish what's a profit margin and what's not. Just from looking at that, that's the information's there. It's just not reported in a way that's functionally useful to me. I'm just asking that it be presented in a way that is.
Actually,
Okay, councillors, moving on then. No other questions on the Visitor Information Centre report. Item 160 is the Operations and Infrastructure Report. Recommendation that the council note the following report highlighting information in relation to Operation and Infrastructure Department. Any discussions on that, councillor?
Through you, Chair, to the GM and to other councillors, the road out Luana is amazing. And I know it's not finished yet, but it's just so much better.
Thanks, councillor. I'll pass that on to the staff.
Yep.
And I guess the good thing about the starting of this report, we've now got project updates in there as well, with where the projects are at the moment, how much funding's remaining on the projects. I think that's a great step forward, so we can keep an eye on where projects are.
Through you, Mayor, I had 3 questions about 3 different pieces of this report.
Yep.
One was on across page 73 and 74 about the Queenstown swimming pool. I know it says installation of a new liner, that it says on the one hand there's a risk that the liner can't be installed prior to the grant completion date, but then on the other hand it says it's a quote received and ordered, delayed installation.
Due to latest.
Yeah, I guess I'm just seeking some clarification around that as my first question.
In response to your question, so there was a delay in ordering the liner. The liner is coming from Italy. There's a 16 to 20 week travel to actually get the liner to Australia. So what we're trying to determine is once the liner arrives, what's the information envelope, and we need 4 weeks for that, prior to starting the next swimming season. We've already got bookings before the week before the swimming season commences, so that sort of timing is really close. So if the weather is like last year, we wouldn't be able to install the liner, so we'd be looking at the year after. And if that's the case, what we'll have to be doing is asking for another grant extension so we can actually get the liner installed in time.
Right, and I think just being really clear with the community on what's happening, because you're talking about the main pool, right?
The Queenstown pool, yes.
Not.
Yeah, the 20th
Yeah.
pool, yes.
Okay.
Through you, Mr Mayor, is the key piece of asset that the community uses.
Yeah.
For sure. My second question was around page 75, the Zian footpaths. Again, we've got something in there that said this needs to be completed by the end of the year, but we are only now preparing a request for quote around the Zian footpath. So knowing what our weather's like, that's a really tight turnaround. And I, to be honest, I didn't realise we had this funding coming.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what's.
Yeah, so at the moment, we have one of my team members providing analysis on what footpaths need to be installed in, and we're doing some analysis around that. So that has been completed. There's a meeting next week with the GM and myself to actually go through that analysis. We're intending to do much of the work in-house, and weather permitting, we should be able to do most of the footpath upgrades, and meet that date.
Great, thank
So,
you.
through you, Mr Mayor, to add some value to that conversation, it's not all concrete footpaths.
Yeah.
There's a mix of materials and styles that will allow us to do work concurrently, if you understand what I mean.
And my third, last question, page 87, the vandalism report. Always disappointing to read, but especially on new assets that have been installed. What's our process in terms of, obviously collecting or putting in an insurance claim, but prosecuting, offenders? What do we do? Because it is community assets that they are destroying.
So we have got CCTV in that park, and the police are always asking for that information. So if our staff, all they have to do is access that and forward it on to the police, and they will prosecute. Same as the vandalism was done to the netball, to the basketball ring on the back of the newly installed wall behind the barbecue. We asked that that footage be gathered from the CCTV and handed on to the inspector. It was asking about that. It was one thing that was brought up, so hopefully that information has been forwarded on to police.
Thank you.
And yeah, quite right, disappointing that the park's not even completed yet, and we've got vandalism happening. And we haven't seen a lot of vandalism in the past, or for some time now.
Very lucky with vandalism.
We have, yep. Any other questions, councillors?
Through you, Mayor.
Yes, councillor.
I'd just like to request, with the Headley Falls Park redevelopment, we've gone 42K over budget and there's been some changes there. Is it possible to take that to a workshop with councillors and just unpack that for us? What happened within that project scope, so we're aware for future projects, if there's sort of some issues there that we can be mindful of for future preparation. We did some pretty extensive work setting that project up, and to see it go over budget, I'd just really like to unpack that a little bit more.
Through you, Mr Mayor, certainly happy to do a lessons learned conversation around that. There's been a number of learnings come out of that project.
I'd welcome that, please, GM.
Yes, thanks, councillor. Yes,
Yeah, sorry, I'd just like to add to that to say that, happy to create a post-implementation report like the GM has suggested. And what that would do is would analyse how the project was run, what the lessons were, either good or bad. And that document can be used for future projects on, what we need to do differently to make sure projects are kept within budget.
I guess that's project management 101.
Yeah,
We should have,
correct.
even
Absolutely.
if a project was on budget or below budget, we should have a report on the outcomes.
Yeah.
And given the fact that, we had reports on the Headley Falls Park on the progress, and at no stage during that progress reports that we were given that there was any issue with there being an overrun in funding, so good to see a final report on that.
Just on the waste figures there for the month, can I ask commercial operators, is that our industrial bit, is it?
That's your front lift facility, yes.
We're not actually separating anything out at this stage, or we are?
Through Mr Mayor, when we deliver waste from the commercial operators, we are doing the best that we can to sort some of the materials.
Yeah, okay.
So when we drop a load of waste, we've got the excavator there that sorts through, it pulls out the metal and a few other things.
Right.
But we could be doing better in that space.
A number of ways from it, it'd be interesting to, if we could look back to where we are today and look ahead in 3 years when we're progressing and seeing just how much value we have taken out, in terms of, what have we got there? This month alone, there's close to 500 tonne going into that seal,
Yep.
And a lot of that's, we've got 54 tonne green waste, that's not going in the cellars.
No.
1.5, when I first looked at that, I thought we got 1.5 tyres, that's 1.5 tonne. Still, 1.5 tonne of tyres is a significant burden to us. We're getting, I can't remember what our fee and charges for tyres, are we getting those fees and charges through?
We are getting a number of the fees, but there would be a percentage that are coming through in commingled waste. Through Mr Mayor, there is an uplift to be done in waste.
Yeah,
As part of that process, we've been unpacking some of the decisions that have been made recently in relation to plant machinery in that space, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, councillors? Okay, item 161, it's a innovation grant application. Recommendation is council approve the cash funding of $1,000 to CS Rowland Multimedia. Information is attached, councillors. Well, open for discussion. I'll have someone move for discussion, please. Move councillor Graham, second councillor Newman. Open for discussion, councillors.
I thought it was an interesting read, very interesting project. Again, it's unique to the West Coast. For $3 grand, I thought it might be reasonably good value. Get a bit of kudos from it. I don't think I've heard of anything
No.
like it before, to be honest. It's uniquely different. I've done a lot of noise monitoring in my time, but it's very different to this sort of, isn't it? But I'm for one, I'm supportive of $3 grand. I think it's something that's going to be very unique to the West Coast. Capturing the noises and sounds of the West Coast is very unique.
It's only $1,000 from council, so it's
I thought it would be pretty good.
innovation.
Through you, Chair, he said there that he's got approval from Parks, but it's not included in the application.
It's probably approval to actually, whenever you do anything on Parks land, you have to have what's called a commercial operator's permit.
Yeah, he said that in his application.
So it'd be that, I think that's what he's alluding to, his approval from Parks, to actually go and monitor noise on Parks or from Parks.
Through Mr Mayor, they've
That's
recently
an
made,
enthusiast business licence.
There you go.
Excuse me, councillor, sorry?
Tasmanian Enthusiasts Business Licence.
Yes.
And there's recently been some reforms in that space, which has made it cost effective to encourage the promotion of all that collateral data, images and the like from the state government to move forward the brand recognition of Tasmania.
I think it's a great concept, but it would have been nice for him to give us a presentation on what he was proposing rather than just
An
the
application.
application.
Yeah.
Given that it's out something totally extraordinary.
Nothing to stop us to asking him to do that.
No, I don't think there is. No, I think that's
Why don't
probably.
we ask him to come in then?
Certainly can do that, Mr. Mayor.
But he hasn't put any strict timeframe on that.
Well, we can make the decision and then still ask him.
Still ask him to go in.
Yeah,
What is-
I guess it is a he. I should.
We've got a motion on the
Yep.
table, haven't we? Yeah, motion on the
The motion is that we approve the funding, $1,000 funding.
Can I just add, I move that we ask Mr. Rowland to come in and give us a bit of a presentation?
You happy with that amendment,
Yeah.
councillor? Yep.
Christian Rowland.
I think it's fascinating.
I think it is, and I think it's something that we should encourage, and as part of one of the unconformities, they come and did some sound stuff at Mount Lyell Underground, and just stuff that I took for granted,
Yeah,
but it was actually, what they did was quite different, and also if we have something like this in our community, or a person that's got the equipment, and some of this equipment, it lends itself towards other opportunities when other events and other activities are in the region.
Certainly does. And given, when he looks at where other people were using these sounds and information, Facebook, YouTube, it's going to
cinema, who knows?
That's right. TV, and we're renowned now for filming on the West Coast.
Through you, Chair, to the GM, just perhaps maybe because we've had others come in and use YouTube, he's mentioned YouTube in there, there's a different criteria for Parks and Wildlife to have a different licence, as some of our explorers around Tasmania have used YouTube on Parks land, and Parks has had a copyright issue. If everything checks out, I would be okay with that, but I wouldn't I'll sustain from voting until that YouTube copyright issue with Parks is sorted. They're all different issues and different permissions, so perhaps maybe we could help him look into it
Yeah.
as
Through-
well.
Through Mr. Mayor, happy to manage that in that space. The other thing that I would ask councillors to consider, do you want to receive a presentation on the finished project when the work is done?
Yes.
Yes, that
So
yes.
would you respect, Mr. Mayor, if the mover and the second are happy to include pre and post?
For sure.
Yep, lovely.
And I just wanted to kind of echo Councillor Butterfield's sentiments of this being such a unique way to capture those acoustic signatures of the West Coast that we all take for granted. So it's exciting, and look, I'd be lying if I said I understood all of it, but I was impressed with the way he was able to explain it, and I like the idea of that kind of weightless economy, that this is something that can be used across the world, or that it's not, have someone printing 1,000 t-shirts and trying to sell them on the corner, that this is really embracing new technology.
Maybe this could be marketed through the visitor centre.
Through you, Chair, again, I'll just say to Councillor Vicky, if it works out, I think it's so exciting. This is a #1 hit. This is something that no one's ever thought of. So as long as it checks out, because we don't want to ruin copyright within Tasmania in case someone else has got it.
No, I think he would have done his due diligence around that, and the fact is, it's not just parks and wildlife area, it's all the sounds on the west coast, so I think,
Through you, Chair, I just want to I don't want to make mistakes.
it's no issue for us though.
No, the copyright is alone.
That's right, we're only giving him a grant out of our innovation fund, so.
Just trying to see the address, is he West Coast?
It talks about intellectual property and copyright in his plan.
You blocked out his address, can I ask, is he living on the West Coast?
That would be a damn good question. I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Pretty sure he said 14 years he's been in Queensland.
14 years of discipline.
Yeah, within the discipline, he said, whatever. Anyway, it's a great thing.
Any other discussions, councillors, before we put it to a vote? Okay, so councillor Graham moved and councillor Newman seconded the motion. Put that to, with an amendment, sorry.
Read the motion, Bill, please.
The council approved cash funding of $1,000 to CS Roller Multimedia and asked Mr. Rowland to present to council both pre and post the project.
Happy with that, councillors? Okay, we'll put that to a vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. No one against, so thank you, councillors. Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't against.
No, you was for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Said no one against.
Yep.
No, very good, okay. Okay. It's matters for closed session, I've got to find out which number. Item 162 is matters for closed meeting. Council recommendation is that items agenda numbers 163-26 to agenda number 174-26 discussed by council in closed session. Someone like to move that way, please. Move councillor Ivanicki, second councillor Butterfield. Put that to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, we'll go into closed session. Councillor, just wait till we.